Sorry, my words aren't going to be with my mouth today. Somehow I forgot to get my mic turned on when I made this recording. We're going to need some props today. I'm not a big fan of props, but for this restorative self-care sequence, I do use them. If you have blocks, grab your blocks, pillows, if you have a bolster, blankets, a chair, a couch. If you don't have a bolster, you can roll up a blanket. If you roll up a blanket over a rolled up yoga mat, that gives it the firmness you need. But we're going to be starting with a supported bridge. I'm going to be using a bolster. I'm going to just ease back over the bolster. The bolster will be under my sacrum. In this video, I'm only going to hold these poses for 30 seconds or so. Normally, when I'm practicing doing my self-care yoga for myself at home, I'll hold most of these poses for 3 to 5 minutes. If you get into one of these poses and it doesn't feel good, go on to the next one. And if you want to hold them for the whole 3 to 5 minutes like I would if I were practicing alone, there's a pause button on this video. You can pause it and stay as long as you like, and then resume playing the video. As I say, if it doesn't feel good, move on to the next one. This is about self-care, taking care of yourself, supporting your resilience as we go through the change of seasons. I'm always a little sad to see summer end. I try to prune the things out of my life that have become overgrown and are blocking my growth, or that I've put a lot of time into that have not borne fruit. If you prune out the dead wood, there's more room for new growth. And we still have a lot of time to harvest before the killing freeze comes. I'm harvesting a lot of peppers and tomatoes and fresh organic herbs. Now let's move on to supported fish. I'm going to use blocks for this one. I'm going to put a block under my head. You have to move it around until it feels right. And then the other block, I'm going to raise up and put it underneath my shoulder blades. You really can't tell where it is here, but that block underneath me is underneath my shoulder blades. You can keep your feet flat on the floor if you like, or if you prefer, you can extend your legs for your supported fish. Again, you can stay in this for 3 to 5 minutes if it feels good. Any of these that don't feel good, move on to the next one. Again, I'll remind you about the pause button if you need more time than I'm spending in each one of these. We're getting the back bends out of the way first. They're the more energizing poses. I have a yoga chair that I'm going to use for my supported back bend. If you don't have a yoga chair, You can use an overstuffed couch or chair and just bend backwards over the back of that piece of furniture. Hardest part for me is getting my legs through the back of the chair because I have some really long legs. Then I just ease back using the chair. I hold on to the chair frame. This one is one of my favorites. I'm probably only going to stay about 30 seconds, but I could stay longer in this one. It's an inversion because your head is lower than your heart. This one revives my energy level, stretches out my back. This is one of my favorites. It just really makes me feel good. I enjoy my yoga chair a lot. They're over $100 though, so don't buy one unless you're absolutely sure you're going to use it. I use mine a lot. It's probably my favorite prop. I probably use it more than I use anything else. Now we're going to go to legs on a chair. That's just what the name implies. You lie down on the floor, bend your knees, and just put your legs up on the chair. You can use a couch or an upholstered chair if you prefer. I can stay in this one for a long time. Sometimes I watch TV like this. Just a gentle, mild little inversion, and it's very relaxing and recharging to your batteries. Feels really good. You may want to pause the video here. I was not ready to get out of this when I moved on to legs up the wall. I was having problems. My mic came off right there. I put it back on. Somehow it never came to life. It never recorded a single word. I'm using my bolster here. You can use pillows or whatever you have. You want your support underneath your low back. You scoot over there and get your low back on top of your support. That thing bucks, it knocked me off. And then you just raise your legs up. Put them up the wall. A little bit out of the picture there, but you can see the action going on. You need your legs up the wall. If when you're in legs up the wall your feet get excessively cold, you can put the soles of your feet together, you can splay your legs apart, you can bend your knees. You don't have to do a petrified legs up the wall. But if you have your legs straight up and you want to leave them that way and they start tingling excessively or getting excessively cold, if you don't want to move around the way I showed you earlier, it's time for you to release legs up the wall. That's your body telling you, thank you very much, that's enough of this for me today. I can stay in this one up to 20 minutes. if I move my legs around and keep the blood circulating a bit in my feet. I'm coming out of this one way before I wanted to. If I'd stayed 3 to 5 minutes in all of these, this video would be excessively long. Here I'm going to Supine Baddha Konasana. I need props for this. Some people don't. Some people can be perfectly comfortable in this without any props, but I can't. I'm going to grab a pillow for underneath my head, and I'm going to use these little bolsters underneath my knees. I'm going to put the soles of my feet together and let my legs fall open, and I'm going to support my knees on these little bolsters. Some people like to have support for their arms too. If you feel that you want pillows or blocks underneath your arms, feel free to use them. I need the bolsters under my knees, and that's all. If it feels good, stay longer than I'm staying today. If it doesn't, just get out of the pose and move on to the next one. Now let's move on to a supported Upavista Conasana, a wide-legged seated forward fold. But you don't want to over exert yourself in this. I'm not splaying my legs absolutely as far apart as I can, just comfortably apart. I'm propping my bolster up on top of a block to make it a little bit higher for me to fold forward on. If this is comfortable and a good height, you can just stay here. If that's not high enough, get something else to put on top of it. Make it higher. You want this to be very supportive, very restorative. You don't want to feel as if you are exerting yourself at all in these restorative poses. That's the point. It's a self-care sequence. We're wise enough to know when we get to the Crone stage, the Crone goddess stage of life, when it is time for us to take care of ourselves so that we'll have the energy to take care of others and share our wisdom. We're beyond our childbearing years and into the wisdom phase of our lives. Okay, let's take a brief savasana, a supported savasana. I'm going to use a pillow under my head and a bolster behind my knees. This is the time in the sequence where we let all 99 things that are bothering us today go. Just let them sink right into the floor. Feel your weight sink into the floor. If thoughts arise, as they invariably do, just let them float by like clouds. If they're important, they'll come back later at a more convenient time. This is your time to let yourself go completely. Take a few minutes just for you. You may want to focus your attention on your breath and see that it's smooth and comfortable and shallow. Or maybe it's deep. But if it's shallow and choppy, try to smooth it out. Make it smooth and easy and comfortable. Let go of all technique. Breathe however your body wants to breathe. And let your body go completely. We've worked in our bodies. When we work with our bodies, we're working with our minds. Now's the time to let the body and the mind go and focus on your heart. Connect with the essence of who you are, that part of you that was you before you got this body, and that will still be you once you have cast this body aside. I'm going to stop talking for a few seconds and let you internalize the practice that we've done today. I'm going to come back to sitting now. I hope you've enjoyed our restorative self-care series today. Give a big shout out to all the other feral crones out there. Dust off your brooms, we fly soon. We're wise enough to know we have to take care of ourselves if we're going to be there with the ability to share our wisdom with others. Our childbearing years are over. We're grandmothers. Some of us are midwives. We're wise women. Not everyone gets to live long enough to reach this stage. So be grateful that you're here and you have so much to offer those around you and the world. Scoop it all up. Keep it with you. Namaste. We'll be continuing our Crone series next week. Be sure and tune back in. Hit like and subscribe. I'm Carmen Cooper. You can find me at carmencooperyoga.com.